What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're just going to be doing a quick reaction video. We're actually going to drop a couple of these today. It's currently 2 in the morning. I have work in the morning, and I had a whole video prepared. Top 15 prospects of the 2025 NBA draft. I'm going to be doing this weekly. It's a new series I'm doing. I've been diving deep into the prospect scouting and college basketball and rookies type of field, which is very fun, but I don't want to limit myself to that. But this is a series that I'm very, very excited to start. And I was going to do a no face cam type of video where I just talk over some highlights, but it got copyrighted. So I worked on that video all day and it got copyrighted. So that's very aggravating. That's very aggravating. And being a small YouTuber, this does not pay my bills. You know, YouTube does not pay my rent, does not pay my car note, does not pay my Wi-Fi that I'm using to make these videos. So I have to work. But so we're going to try and put together some quick reaction videos so I can go to bed within the next hour and a half. So we will be reacting to AM Hoops. AM Hoops. What's going on, brother? You know what I'm saying? I'm back for easy content. And today we're going to be reacting to the struggles of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So let's get right into it. All right, let's get right into it, man. Let's do it.
The Timberwolves made their first conference finals in 20 years last season, so obviously they made a trade to fundamentally change the team. Of course, what else would you do? They traded a franchise cornerstone to save money? Well, now they're about 500, falling from third place to basically out of the playoffs. Oh, it's early, but the tension is obvious. The other night in Toronto, tied late. Rudy Gobert.
This was a crazy sequence, and I haven't really spoke about it. This is a crazy sequence, and I haven't even spoken about it on this channel, which is kind of crazy. But we all have seen this play. We all have seen this play where Rudy Gobert gets upset that he doesn't get the ball in the post, and he just lazily walks out of the paint and gets a 3-second call. Julius Randle just looked him off, which a lot of players do on the Minnesota Timberwolves. But then later in the game, Julius Randle rifles a pass a lot quicker than he probably was going to if he wasn't trying to prove a point, and Rudy Gobert does not catch it. My opinion on this is Rudy Gobert obviously was wrong for walking out of the paint and getting a 3-second call and late in the game, a tie game at that. But you have to feed your big man. You know, feeding your big man is like, it's like a scratch. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. You know, a big man wants to be rewarded for playing defense. And Rudy Gobert is probably the only positive light, even though he has not been as good as he was last year. He's really the only positive light you guys have on defense right now. And the fact that he had his man sealed all the way underneath the basket, even if he doesn't catch it, even if it's a turnover, even if it's extremely ugly, you give him the ball in that situation because that's your big man. He's carrying your defense, and you didn't. Now, Rudy Gobert was extremely wrong for getting that call because it could have been extremely avoided. That's something you can handle after the game. But then you cause a turnover, you're fighting with Anthony Edwards on the court, and you lose the game. So it looks really bad. It looks really bad. Anyway, let's keep moving.
Turnover. Wow. Anthony Edwards was pissed. What was that, Rudy? They crumbled after that, losing.
But everybody's going to blame Rudy Gobert, though. Everybody's going to blame Rudy.
The only issue these guys have had. A YouTuber named Daniel Lee pointed out 2 other issues. In their first game in LA, Gobert is screened by LeBron. Gobert tells Randle to switch onto Davis, but Julius says, "You fight through the screen." He's visibly upset while AD takes an open triple.
Why not switch,
Randle
though?
with the ball this time, passes to Rudy. Randle points to a wide open Mike Conley in the corner, but Gobert stupidly tries a contested hook shot that misses. Now, I think Julius is to blame for what happened in Toronto because it was weird not to obviously feed Rudy on a mismatch. I understand why Rudy pouted, but that was childish. So what is going on? But I have been playing so rare to have more fun this NBA season, and they are now giving out
this is an ad. This is an ad. This is an ad. I sniff it. I sniff it. I sniff it. We gotta go.
For some reason, guys just don't like Rudy Gobert. He is the most disrespected player, not just by the media, but by other
it pisses
guys
me
in
off,
the
bro.
league.
It pisses me off. And one of the things that, hold on, just to go on a quick rant real fast. Just to go on a quick, I keep pausing my video and not pausing the YouTube video. I'm sorry, it's so late. Anyway, just to go on a quick rant, I really hate how people disrespect Rudy Gobert. This guy is a legitimate defensive player of the year. He's one of the best defenders of this generation. And we just continue to disrespect him because he got cooked by Jokic and he got cooked by Luka Doncic in space. Who's not getting cooked by Jokic? Who is not getting cooked by Luka in space? So I don't get it. I don't get it. And I have stats, but I'm not going to pull them out. It pisses me off. It really pisses me off how people try and disrespect Rudy Gobert. And it really lets me know if you're a casual or not. It really does. Like, if I want to know if you're a casual, I'll ask you about Rudy Gobert. That's probably one of the things. Like, I know a lot of people who study the game at a high level have takes that they hear and be like, oh, this guy doesn't really watch. That's one of them. That's one of them. If you really think Rudy Gobert is not a good defender, now you can say he didn't deserve some of those defensive player of the years. I think there's one year where Rudy Gobert won it and AD should have won it. I think it was 2018 or 2019, one of those years. But other than that, if you really try and get on a platform and say Rudy Gobert is a bad defender, I'm really questioning what you think about basketball. And I understand I didn't play, but it's an eye test, and the eye test is pretty simple.
He's got near zero offensive game, but has a max contract and 4 defensive player of the years. Guys know he is going to the Hall of Fame someday, and they think, but I'm better. How can a guy who fumbles almost every pass and cannot catch a lob get traded for 5 players and 5 first-round picks? Plus, there's something about his attitude. 2 years ago, his own teammate, Kyle Anderson, got in his face. Rudy punched him. Like Kyle Slow-Mo Anderson, not exactly known to be a trash talker. If he can't stand you, something's up. But this all goes away if the Timberwolves win. But so far, the chemistry on the court is an issue. Minnesota made the conference finals with 2 things: a decent offense, but a dominant defense. Last year, the 17th offense, but number 1 on D. This year, 9th offense, 14th defense. Is that why Randall resents Gobert? No. Rudy is actually good. Everyone else is the problem. But I thought Karl Anthony Towns was bad on D. He is, but at least they knew how to play team defense to hide Cat. Now, Randall and DiVincenzo changes everything.
Okay, quick, one more side quest. The reason that Karl Anthony Towns is better defensively for this team is because Karl Anthony Towns allows Rudy Gobert to do what he's best at, and that's being a help defender. That's what he is. That's what Rudy Gobert thrives in. That's what he won Defensive Player of the Year for. Being a help side rim protector, being a help defender, being amazing at disrupting the pick and roll, amazing at disrupting easy layups, amazing at disrupting lob plays. That's what he does. He can't do that if he's stuck to the center. And Julius Randle cannot guard fives. He can't. But Cat, that's probably his only valuable trait on defense. He's a great post defender. So now you take Karl Anthony Towns out of that situation, and now Rudy Gobert is forced to guard bigs, to guard the 5. In other situations, you can just throw Rudy Gobert on the non-shooter, have him roam around the paint, and that's where he is most valuable at. Not saying he's not valuable on any other spots, but that's where he is most valuable. So now you can't really do that. You can't really do that. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's finish this video out.
Why did they make the trade? After the 3 seed, they were the ones to knock out the defending champion Nuggets in the playoffs. Cat regained his All-Star after missing the year before. But the main reason is ownership. There is a fight right now over who owns this team, and we got a huge update recently. But with Ant making All-NBA, it's a $30 million pay raise. Gobert got an extension. Naz Reid. They couldn't afford Cat's money. Plus, dude just had a great year. Perfect time to trade him. I mean, just look at Brandon Ingram, right? He wants a max, but no one wants to touch him because of the new CBA. You cannot have bad contracts anymore. So Minnesota figures, dude, this might be our only chance to deal with Cat. If he regresses a little bit or gets injured yet again, we're stuck with him forever. So the Knicks came calling, offering Randall and DiVincenzo. They were like, see ya. That saved them $9 million in salary, but $50 million in taxes. That is how the CBA punishes expensive teams. Now, the Knicks have to deal with a 32-year-old Cat at some point making $61 million. Randall can just be a free agent off their books. But the new guys on the Wolves worked on paper, but in reality, It's not good. Now, the two bright spots start with Rob Dillingham, who is the one player who consistently lifts this team off the bench.
Rob Dillingham has been nice. He has been nice. He's such an electric scorer too.
Celtics defense, which
like he juices up this. He juices up the offense when he's on the floor.
It would be really cool to see him grow with Ant in the backcourt. And speaking of Ant, his rise is amazing. The kid has gone from a below-average three-point shooter to maybe the best in the league. Career average 2 threes made per game on below-average efficiency. Now, taking 11 threes on 44%. No one is better. And for the rest of the team, Ant said the number one thing, we just don't play hard. We came out and played hard against Boston. I mean, we make mistakes, but the reason we were able to overcome those mistakes is because we played hard the entire game. Why? Because after that long playoff run and the intensity of those fights, it's just hard to get up for a regular season game in November. But if the Wolves cannot get on the same page, what does that mean for the West? Last year, Minnesota grabbed the 3rd seed, just one game behind OKC for first place. This year, OKC's still near the top, but with Golden State and Houston right there. Yo, we thought someone was gonna get knocked out with the Grizzlies comeback, but the Rockets are in the mix? There's only 8 playoff spots. And the worst part of this is Wolves fans have had 20 plus miserable years waiting for a good team, and right when it happens, were they a fluke? Like the Pacers making the conference finals last year? No, they felt so much more legitimate than that. No offense to the Pacers. No way. Ant is way too big a star, and they have great role players, but something isn't clicking. Now, I don't seriously think that the Wolves are going to miss the playoffs this year, but it must be tough when there's so much chaos at the top. We just got an update on who owns this team. So Glenn Taylor has owned them since 1994. He agreed to sell to Mark Lowry and Alex Rodriguez 3 years ago at a $1.5 billion valuation. Then immediately team prices went up. The Wolves are now valued at over $3 billion, so that was a mistake. And they're actually good for the first time in 20 years. So how does Taylor get out of this? A dirty trick. A-Rod and Lowry agreed to buy the team in chunks. First payment, $600 million, good. Second payment, $600 million, good. Third payment on Adam Silver's desk for approval when the time ran out. So Taylor was like, oh, time's up, no more sale. That is such a cheap trick. So now they're gonna go to a panel who will decide. Everyone makes their case and then case closed. It's happening in December, and it seems obvious what's gonna happen, right? No, if Taylor wins, no sale. But if A-Rod and Lowry win, it goes to the other 29 owners, and they need 23 of 29 owners to vote in their favor. Will they get the votes? Maybe not, because the other owners don't want that kind of crap to happen to them if they get in trouble. Honestly, I think the Wolves will be just fine. Julius Randle has a history of acting out when things don't go his way. But just like the Mavericks, they are having a hard time competing after an exciting playoff run. But one guy
you know what's crazy though
now is Tyrese Halliburton.
It looks just like 2022. They're going to be at the bottom of the Western Conference around the 6th to 8th seed. They're going to make the first round extremely competitive, and then they're going to go into next season like, how can we really improve this team? And I just think if you really are going to be a championship contender, you're going to have to pay the money of a championship contender. Look at Boston. Look at why Denver hasn't won another finals. They're being cheap. Boston's not going to be cheap. These franchises, when they really feel like they are in a championship contending position, they're not going to be cheap. If I'm an owner, I'm paying the money. But that's just my love of the game. Anyway, if you guys like this type of content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Our regular uploads will be back on Tuesday, and I'm out. Peace.